Time now for the second of our 3 races here today in the Formula Regional Middle East category. The first race yesterday gave us a real indication that Freddie Slater of Great Britain for the Mumbai Falcons racing team is not just out for a good time, he's out for blood. He managed to take a dominant victory in the first race. Today's second affair is just as the sun is starting to set here at Yas Marina in the nation's capital of Abu Dhabi here in the United Arab Emirates, and it's a reverse grid race, which means that on pole position we're going to have the Japanese talent Kanato Lee. But there's a little bit of French flavour on all 4 positions of the first 2 rows of the grid. ART Grand Prix take their first pole position in the category in only their second appearance, thanks to Kanato Lee finishing 10th yesterday. He's also going to have Teofil Nal for Santalok in second position. Enzo Deligny for Race GP is going to be there in third, but my money in this one is going to be on the sensational rookie Taito Kato, French F4 champion last year and a bit of a demon when it comes to tyre management. He'll be going 4th on the grid and he could prove a real surprise coming into this one. The drivers are already making their way around the circuit on their installation lap, and it comes after 6 hours of racing from the sports cars just before them. That means the track will be a very different animal to what it was in race 1 yesterday. So as the competitors are working their way into their grid positions, let's catch up with a few of the drivers who gave us some real insights into how hard the work is to get things right here in the world of Formula Regional. Now you race in Formula Regional in Europe as well as in Middle East. Just how different are the Pirelli tyres compared to the GT tyres here that you race?
Yeah, Pirelli tyres are generally softer. It's possible to do more combining. It's a different driving style here with the GT tyres, though the tyres are different from last year as well. I mean, we have to adapt, but at the end the car is the same, so details.
Now your biggest challenge coming here to Abu Dhabi has not been the car, but has been the tyres. These GT tyres, very different to what you are used to back in Europe. What's it been like?
They are completely different. For the warm-up it's a bit strange, but really nice to improve and to discover them. And yeah, for the performance are pretty nice. The grip is different than the one from Europe, and yeah, I will try my best to exploit them as much.
And of course, I guess with these GT tyres that have very big drop-off in qualifying, but actually improve over a long stint, you can learn a lot of information.
Yeah, we can learn a lot. It's very important to be full focus on quali and then in the race to manage the pace. So yeah, I think that's good tyres to learn, and I hope it will help me for the season.
And in the testing times as well, you actually put the car in the top 10, which is the first time this team has ever been there. So you're now the secret weapon for the team. Is that a bit of pressure?
We both improve, but pressure is motivation. So yeah, I would like to have more. Really enjoy it.
So coming over here to Abu Dhabi and to the Dubai Autodrome for the first time, this is a big challenge, very different tyres. How big is the learning curve for you?
Yeah, very different tires. Each session we have to analyze what I did good, what I did wrong, what can I do better. So yeah, a lot of learning for me right now.
So working on this circuit in a Formula Regional, how big is a challenge in the setup of getting this car right compared to a Formula 4?
For sure, I mean, it's definitely been a challenge. I mean, we've been working a lot, the team's been working a lot over these past 3 test days to really get it right. We've been trying so many different things. So obviously it's a lot more technical of a car to drive, and a lot more things we can change and adapt. And you learn all these different feelings in each corner and what each change does to the car. So it's been really a useful experience.
And now, of course, you come into this championship having had a year of experience in F4 out here and having raced in F4 Trophy. Do you think you can be as quick as quickly to come straight up to the front?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good testing, so I was able to pick up well the track and get to know the car on the specific circuit, so we've been doing quite well. And I think, yeah, there's always a possibility. You know, when you go to the track, you try to do your best, learn the most, and then wherever you are, you are. So let's see how it goes.
So good to hear the competitors gearing up ready for the second race of the weekend in considerably more sunlight than they got yesterday. They were under the lights yesterday, and they will be again for race 3 later on. But this fantastic circuit always provides great drama and suspense. We're going to get it again today in the second race of the weekend for Formula Regional. They call this place the meeting place of champions, and with very good reason indeed. So with all the competitors geared up and ready for an exciting show, this reverse grid race should see plenty of good battles, hopefully quite a few overtakes as well. The pressure is on this man, Ganato Lee, no stranger to the world of Formula Regional, and certainly no stranger out here either. He did a great job last year to put himself up in the top 10 on a few occasions. Now he's on pole position, a reverse grid pole for the ART Grand Prix team in their first weekend of racing in the Middle East. So this will be a fascinating situation for them. And we'll see if Kanato Lee can actually convert this one into a pole position. It's definitely going to be a tough job. He's got a lot of very strong competitors around him. Apologies for those of you who are struggling a little bit to hear me through the comms. That's the problem with getting air conditioning flu at the latter stages of the weekend. There's Théophile, the Frenchman for Saint-Aloc, getting himself ready for a big push. This could be his first race victory of the campaign, and don't forget he's preparing a charge in FIA Formula 3 later this year. Enzo De Ligny, former Red Bull youngster, under the tutelage for most of his career of Lorenzo Travasanuto. This season he is going to be guided at Race GP by Hadrian David, a man who is no stranger to the front end of the field. My money for this race is actually going to be on this boy. Rookie driver Taito Kato, so impressive on his debut yesterday. But starting from 4th on the grid, he is a master of looking after tyres already. He could be quite the suspenseful competitor. Could put on a really exciting show going into today's race. 5th on the grid though, Yuga Wugachukwu cannot be counted out. The American in that Mario Andretti tribute design for the helmet, just a plain, simple silver. It'll be fascinating to see what the McLaren youngster and the Macau Grand Prix winner last year, who dominated on the streets of Gia, could actually get things done and go for a victory in the second race of the season. The Red Bull junior driver is going to be lining up just behind him. So we've got Formula 1 flavour on the third row of the grid for McLaren Yuga Wugachukwu. For Red Bull, the newest member of the team, Ernesto Rivera, Mexican driver, definitely one to watch in the Pinnacle Motorsport squad, and definitely looking like he could be a proper contender. Spanish F4 last year, a race winner. Now he's there in Red Bull colours in the Pinnacle in Formula Regional. But if anybody's going to push their way through from outside the top 6 and go for the victory, you'd be foolish to discount this man. Brando Badoa, the Italian, has been so strong over the course of the last 18 months. He really has improved his game. Towards the tail end of last year, he was picking up a string of podiums. He wants to go for the title this year, so this is a good chance for him to put on a bit of a show. There is the Frenchman, Evan Gilter, third position in his first race in the Middle East yesterday. Certainly no stranger to Formula Regional. He's raced this car before out in Europe, but certainly his first trip, the furthest he's ever raced around the world. Doesn't have the greatest budget in the world, but he definitely has a very good right foot. There's the local star, Rashid Al Daheri, lives 15 minutes away from the race circuit here at Yas Marina. He has grown up here. Motor racing has been part of his life ever since he was born, and certainly a chance for him to continue that now as the first man from the United Arab Emirates, the first Emirati to go all the way to Formula 1. There are plenty of drivers who live out here, of course, in the United Arab Emirates who could get there as well. But this man is the British boy wonder sensation. They're already calling this man the British Antonelli. Freddie Slater doing a great job in 10th position on the grid. It's a reverse grid race position for him because, of course, he dominated yesterday. So it'll be fascinating to see if he can convert a reverse grid pole position, a reverse grid 10th, I should say. He got pole yesterday. So it'll be fascinating to see if he works forward. It'll be fascinating to see how much he can work. But 10th position on the grid is not going to be much of a hamper for Freddie Slater based on the pace he had yesterday. Watch a few of the drivers outside the top 10 as well. Jesse Cadascado will start 11th on the grid. This is a repeat of what happened yesterday. You'll get to see the best bits of the opening race of the season. This was last night. Freddie Slater from pole position had it all his own way right from the outset. Evan Gilter had to push hard to try and stay with him, but it was Rashid Al-Daheri who got the better start of the three and managed to work his way into second position off the launch. There was already a lot of fighting and toing and froing in the early stages of yesterday's race under the night sky. But there were plenty of drivers who were up for a scrap and wanted to get some good positions fought for. There was a problem on the first lap for the British driver Finlay Green, who had to correct his position and then get going again at the tail end. Battles between teammates, the two Japanese drivers who are in the top four this time. Kanato Lee, who starts pole, and Taito Kato, who starts fourth, were snapping at each other's heels yesterday. Anzo Deligny got in the wars then with Liu Ruche. And then, of course, the two Axel GP teammates went at it like hammer and tongs. It was fascinating to see the duel between Jaden Pariat and his teammate Aditya Kulkarni. Reza Suwerthan got himself in the mix as well, battling away with the Mexican Jesse Cadascado. A lot of the battles seemed to come outside of the top five, but there was a really interesting squabble up front between Ernesto Rivera and Yuga Chukwu, the Macau Grand Prix winner, really having to wrestle with the Mexican to stay in front. It was fascinating, but up front it was absolutely flawless for Freddie Slater, winning on his debut in Formula Regional, with the battle going all the way to the line for second position between Rashid Al-Daheri and Evan Gilter. So Freddie Slater has kick-started his campaign victoriously from pole position, scoring the maximum points from race one. He starts P10 as a result today with the reverse grid. Can he do anything spectacular from there? We are about to find out. So let's go through the starting grid positions in full. It's definitely going to be an interesting one for the top four drivers, all with French interest, either by nation or by origin of the team they drive for. It's going to be either Japanese or French talent. Kanato Lee, pole position. Teofil Niles, second position for Santilon. Third is Anzo Deligny for Race GP. And then Taito Kato of Japan, a really strong competitor, even so early in his career. Yuga Chukwu, P5. Sixth is the Red Bull youngster Ernesto Rivera of Mexico. Brando Badoa is alongside Evan Gilter on the fourth row of the grid. Ninth position for the Emirati, Rashid Al-Daheri. What can he do from P9? Freddie Slater won't be as dominant as yesterday. Jesse Cadascado and Jin Nakamura on the sixth row of the grid. Then Aaron Cameron, the Australian, alongside Liu Luche. Akshibora down in 15th. Lorenzo Castillo trying to fight back from P16. 17th, the Australian Jack Beaton with a chance to do better today than yesterday. Everett Stack in 18th place from Giovanni Mascio and Yaroslav Vezolaho. 21st on the grid for Aditya Kulkarni and Wang Shongwei down in P22. Jaden Pariat and Finlay Green had a real struggle yesterday. Down at the back, the retirements from the first race, Reza Suwerthan and Kai Danianani, the two British drivers. So it's going to be a really exciting situation for the contenders. We're going to have to see how things will progress here as the light fades. Pole position has gone the way of Kanato Lee on the reverse grid pole. But how strong can he be with two hot Frenchmen right on his tail? Teofil Niles and Anzo Deligny, both of whom have the capacity to go for a victory here tonight. And let's not forget that this is all going to come down to tyre management. The wind is a lot stronger than it was predicted to be. There was even a very mild threat that the storm that was in Dubai yesterday might hit today. It hasn't happened, of course, and we are in bone dry conditions as we were originally predicted. But tyre management will be the key factor in getting a race 2 victory under their belt. And it's not going to be as clear-cut as you might think. A lot of drivers will instinctively think that, well, if they were quick yesterday, they'll be quick today. But not everybody is in that boat. I could tell you, just looking out of the window, it looks to me as though Freddie Slater has put on a fresh set of boots. So that will be interesting to see just how many points he can pick up if he's got new tyres. That's the other key factor in this reverse grid race. Some drivers will save their last set of fresh tyres for race 3 in the hope of a good strong race with a better grid position than this one. Others will choose their fresh set of tyres now to maximise a decent position. Look in particular towards the front of the grid. Kanato Lee, Teofil Nal and Enzo Deligny might not get another chance to take a race win other than this race. So as Kai Dadianani will slot alongside Reza Suerden at the back of the grid, the green flag will fly at the tail end. It does now. The lights will come on. When they extinguish, we'll be racing for the second time in Formula Regional. Wait for it. Let's race in Abu Dhabi. A good start from Paul. No start at all from Gilter. Gilter doesn't move. My apologies, that looks like Taito Kato. So Taito Kato from the second row of the grid doesn't get away until it's far too late to do anything about it. So unfortunately, commentator's curse strikes in the first 5 seconds of the race. Kanato Lee has got a fair getaway by the look of it, and he's out in front. No problems on ticket now with Reza Suerden, and there's a spin. That is Akshay Bora. So Akshay Bora of the Race GP team has been collected in the melee at the W Hotel. Big disappointment there for Akshay Bora, as a chance to score points evaporates around him. Rashid Al Daheri going wheel to wheel with Ernesto Rivera as they go along the home straight in the Formula 1 paddock. But out in front, it is still no problems at all for Kanato Lee. He holds station in the lead of the race as Evan Schilter gets up the inside of Ernesto Rivera. And I'm fairly sure Freddie Slater has got ahead of all of them. So there's a yellow flag at the W Hotel. Is that going to be enough to trigger a safety car, or have they got everybody going again? No sign of the safety car as yet. So I have a feeling that Akshay Bora has got the car moving. He has indeed. So it's yellow flags only as they clear the debris. Down the back straight. Up the front to the support paddock once again. It's the big heavy braking zone for the chicane that's really going to count. And there is the charge. Teofil Nal in third position. Is there going to be a charge forward from Yugurugin Chukwu? He's going to try and take on his teammate Enzo Deligny. He can't quite get the move, but he's certainly prepared to challenge for it. And watch out from behind as well. Brandon Madua's in the mix. Safety car, safety car. Safety car's been called after all. So I'm afraid to say that there was more than Akshay Bora's car in trouble. And what a disaster for Taito Kato. What a disaster as well for Liu Che. The Chinese driver has dropped a long way back, down in 20th position. Akshay Bora has recovered down at the back of the field. But there's debris, I believe, down there at the W Hotel, so that's why we're under safety car. Everybody managed to get moving again, but I'm afraid there does appear to be damage on the circuit, debris in a rather dangerous part of the circuit for debris to be scattered, because of course that's a blind set of corners. Safety car deployed, as you can see. So let's take this opportunity to run through the race order as it currently is. Kanato Lee out in front from Teofil Nal, then Enzo Deligny, Yugurugin Chukwu now 4th, Brandon Madura is 5th, and Freddie Slater is P6. What a start from the British driver, already up 4 places. Evan Schilter in 7th, so he's already got ahead of him. Ernesto Rivera in 8th, and Rashid Al Daheri 9th, so Slater's already got ahead of him as well. So a sensational performance then from Kanato Lee with Teofil Nal and Enzo Deligny in the top 3 positions. Let's have a look at a replay of the start. Look at Taito Kato on the right of your screen. He doesn't move at all until it's far too late. How did everybody avoid him? Let's try and pick up what happened for Akshay Bora. I think we're just about to miss it, because it's going to happen right in front of us. Yeah, the contact has already happened, and he actually strikes one of the PHM cars, I believe, on the way through. So that could have been Everett Stack just getting collected. Let's look at it again. Look at the start as well from Teofil Nal. I thought for a moment there he was actually going to get the jump. Freddie Slater is already in front of Schilter and Al Daheri by the time they get to the W Hotel. So a rocket ship of a start from Freddie Slater. There's the spin from Akshay Bora as everybody else just tries to take avoiding action. So let's look at the order as it stands on the safety car. Kanato Lee is your leader. Teofil Nal second from Enzo Deligny. Then it is Yugurugin Chukwu in front of Brandon Madua. Freddie Slater, the leading rookie in P6. Then Evan Schilter, Ernesto Rivera, Rashid Al Daheri in ninth position in front of Jesse Gadashkado. Then it's Jin Nakamura, Aaron Cameron, Giovanni Mascio, Lorenzo Castillo, Everett Stack, Yaroslav Vezalaho, Jaden Pariat and Razor Swerthen. Then Finley Green in front of Liu Che. Aditya Kulkarni ahead of Taito Kato, who's got a lot of work to do now. Guy Dadianani, Wang Shengwei and Jack Beaton with Akshay Bora at the very back of the field. But I can tell you, he is moving and he is back in position at the tail end of the field. Now, is that safety car coming in at the end of the lap, or is it staying out another lap? Well, I haven't seen the message saying that safety car will be in this lap, but they certainly seem to think it's coming in. Yeah, the safety car's just come into the pits past me, so we are going to go green this time by. Good restart from Kanato Lee, and it's green, 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 green. So Kanato Lee heads the field over the line. Teofil Nile in second position, chasing him down. Then Deligny, Yugen Chukwu, but is trying to break the toe to stop Freddie Slater, who just goes round the outside regardless. Can he hold the line? He's going to have to back out of it, which he does. So Yugen Chukwu still battling with his teammate Enzo Deligny. He's now having to go around the far side on the run to the W Hotel. Slater has a think about Brando Badoa. Thinks better of it. So as they weave their way through, big defensive line from Brando Badoa, but that's going to compromise him on the exit as they come off the W Hotel. Freddie Slater may get a run on the way to turn 5. So it's going to be an interesting one as they continue their charge. Slater's decided to hang back in P6. Points make prizes. He's certainly looking to be the leading rookie at the moment. He is in P6. The incident involving Akshay Bora and Liu Che will be investigated after the race. And so it was Liu Che who ended up causing the melee. As far as the stewards are concerned, I'm sure Akshay Bora will feel so. But Liu Che drops all the way to 20th, just in behind the British driver Finley Green as a result of that. So let's see if we're going to get a big move from one of the main players. Teofil now trying to stay close to Kanato Lee, but let's not forget that the faster drivers are down behind the top 3 at the moment. Chukwu P4, Badoa P5, Slater P6, Shilter P7, Rivera P8 and Al-Naheri P9. So we can see quite a bit of overtaking in this one. We're certainly going to see the slalom as drivers try and shake off their opponents. Deligny's got Yugen Chukwu for company, but he's not close enough for the move. Slater gets very close to Badoa under braking, but he can't go for the overtake. So at the end of the lap, Kanato Lee holds station for ART Grand Prix. Still they run forward. And it's Lee, Nile, Deligny, Yugen Chukwu, Badoa, Slater, Shilter, Rivera, Al-Naheri and Gadashkado that will score points as it stands at the moment. The top 10 will score points here from the region at least. That limit's already violated by number 69 Finley Green. So as they run their way through on the far side of the course, it's looking good for Kanato Lee, the Japanese driver. Holding station as Rashid Al-Naheri. He's going to have a very tough job. Banks wheels with the Mexican driver Jesse Gadashkado, that was, trying to go right round the outside of him. Did he finish the move? It looked to me as though Rashid Al-Naheri is actually really struggling there. I'm not sure whether he got it wrong on the exit of turn 1 or whether there's an issue with the setup of the car, but certainly for the moment he's hanging on from Jesse Gadashkado by a thread. And then the Japanese driver, as part of the Toyota Academy, Jin Nakamura, is giving him a lot of grief as well. In through the left-hand in the opening corner in Formula 1. It's not the opening corner in Formula Regional, of course, because they use the support pit lane. We're going to have a very interesting time of it on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday when the second round of the championship takes place. They won't get to this point on the circuit. They won't drop down this far. They'll actually use the corkscrew layout. There's the move on the inside from Jin Nakamura, and he gets through on Gadashkado. Good work from the Toyota young gun. So Nakamura now in front of Gadashkado, and they're going to be battling all the way down the back straight as Gadashkado fancies a move to retaliate. Speaking of which, Yugen Chukwu is going to take on his teammate Deligny if he gets a run on the braking zone. Deligny is wise to it. He holds his teammate to ransom. That's the thing. There is a team's championship in this level, but you certainly aren't interested in it if you're a single-seater driver, because at this level, until you get to F1, it's every man for himself. How little room was there for Gadashkado? Nakamura squeezes into the wall and does so again. Gadashkado trying to keep his foot in. There's nothing between them, millimetres in it. Gadashkado tries and they bang wheels. Gadashkado is going to run wide. Well, that was two drivers absolutely unprepared to surrender, and someone was always going to come off worse in that scenario. On this occasion, it is Jesse Cadascado. And it looks to me as though Finley Green and Jack Beaton have had an incident somewhere on the course. Neither of them have come around at the end of this lap. There is a yellow flag at the chicane, so we really need to see what's going on. There it is, there's the car. You can see at the bottom there, that is Finley Green's car. So Finley Green has clearly had an incident there, and Jack Beaton has not come around either, so it could be that something's befallen the two of them. Whether it's the same incident or separate incidents is unclear, but we're safety car again. Well, we didn't have a single safety car in yesterday's race. Now we've got two of them. So there's no change in the top six after that brief green flag period, but now we have a second safety car. Fascinating to see how tight it got though between Jin Nakamura and Jesse Cadascado, who by the way has slipped to 11th position. So Akshay Bora has brought it into the pits and parked it, I do believe. Not able to continue on. But what a dramatic turn of events it has been for Finley Green and Jack Beaton. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a replay of the incident. But as they come down to the chicane, and try and see about that's why we're on the safety car. There is Jack Beaton's car. So Jack Beaton, part of the Mumbai Falcons team, is stranded on the apex. And we can see that right by the tyre wall there is Finley Green's car. He's out of the car, so he's all right. But I'm afraid to say that that is an incident that's put two cars out of the race. Whether they collided with each other or not, I don't know. But certainly, that's a second safety car. And it'll be fascinating to see how it all continues. After no safety car appearances in race one, race two, we've already got two of them. Akshay Bora, part of the incident that triggered the first one. Jack Beaton and Finley Green, part of the incident that ends up giving us a second safety car. Now, the team here are very quick, they are very professional, Marshall's team here, under the instruction of the Emirates Motorsport Organisation. Very, very impressive team of Marshals here. It's one of the best run circuits in the world, this Marina circuit. I've been coming here, very fortunate to say, I've been coming here to race events ever since 2021. And I have to say, these guys really are supreme. The facilities are fantastic. The training and the instruction that these guys give, the facilities, everything just makes it such a fantastic place to go racing at. The drivers here absolutely love it, particularly when it goes dark. And looking out of my commentary box window, we're almost at that point. So we're very nearly gone dark. It's got a real Formula One feel to it, this particular race. As we started at dusk, it's going to be pitch black by the time we finish. Let's have a replay. And this is going to be what's left of the incident. It does look as though two drivers tangled. So Beaton and Finley Green basically in dire straits there. Now, we didn't really see the beginning of the incident, unfortunately. So it is a really difficult situation. But, well, both drivers out of the race, unfortunately. And that incident between the two of them is going to be investigated after the race. So it does seem to suggest that they definitely made contact with each other. We didn't really see any contact ourselves. We only saw the aftermath of the incident. But now we are down to just 22 drivers, I do believe, because Liu Che has not come through. So I think he's actually pulled it into the pits to retire as well. So big problems then for Liu Che, Chinese driver, no longer in the race. I think he may have parked up somewhere rather than actually brought it into the pits, because I didn't see him drive past my position. And usually when the drivers come down pit lane, we get a message to indicate that they have done so. And I have a feeling we're going to be behind the safety car at least one more lap, because they haven't got one car to clear up, they've got two. So Kanato Lee is your race leader, having led since the start. Tefian last second for Santalog. We're going to see a replay. Now, this is the battle between Nakamura and Cadascado, and it's worth following this because these two drivers did not leave each other any space at all. Here it is, Nakamura getting the inside line, Cadascado deciding to stay with it. Now you can argue forever and a day that Jin Nakamura, I'm so used to saying Nakamura-Berta. Jin Nakamura didn't leave Kadashkado any space. You can argue that if you want, but at the same time, Kadashkado was to his left on a part of the circuit that really you shouldn't be going wheel to wheel at. So for my money, it's very easy to point the finger at Nakamura, but I would actually say that's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It's going to be up to the stewards as to what they decide in that incident. So it'll be fantastic to see how it goes. I do apologise to Nakamura for calling him Jin Nakamura-Berta. Every time I hear the surname Nakamura nowadays, it seems to be followed by the word Berta. So I do apologise, but no, Jin Nakamura, no relation of course, but he is part of the Toyota Young Driver Programme in much the same way that Taito Kato is part of the Honda Young Driver Programme. And I've got a feeling to give it 3 or 4 years, they could well be swapping paint in Super GT or even trading blows in Super Formula, unless of course they get the chance to go all the way to Formula 1. Honda does have a presence in Formula 1 and will continue to do so next year, of course, when they switch from Red Bull and the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls team over to Aston Martin. And of course Toyota are being rumoured that they will increase their presence in Formula 1 rather than just having their current technical partnership with the Haas Grand Prix team. So the safety car continues to run the pack. Renato Lee in the lead of the race, 10th and last second from Anto Deligny. Chukwu, Brandon Badua and Freddie Slater. Then Evan Shields here, Ernesto Rivera, Rashid Al-Daheri and Jin Nakamura in front of Aaron Cameron, the Australian, Lorenzo Castillo and Jesse Kadashkado, the 2 rookie drivers. Well, actually, no, my apologies, Kadashkado is not a rookie in this category. Of course, he spent most of last year racing in Euro Cup 3. Giovanni Mascio, 14th position. That's the highest he's run so far this season. It's certainly looking pretty consistent and strong paced with it. He's ahead of the 4 rookies, Everett Stack, Jaden Pariat, Razor Swerthen and Tato Kato. Yaroslav Vesalaho is 19th, then Aditya Kulkarni, Kai Dalianani and Wang Shenwei. Retirements then for Finley Green, Jack Beaton and Akshay Bora. Now, there was a bit of a timing issue for Yu Che. That has now been rectified, so we thought he was out of the race. He just had a transponder issue, so he's got back into the line once again. Lotte van Hulst wants to know if I've got a cold. I do indeed, rather sadly. I'd like to think it's air conditioning flu. I didn't pick it up until I got into the United Arab Emirates, unfortunately. But I will do my best to at least finish this round and go to sleep for a good 48 hours and be ready for Wednesday when we start round 2. Safety car in at the end of this lap. Renato Lee, Taya Villeneuve and Enzo Deligny. Then Yuka Chukwu, Badua, Slater, Shilter, Rivera, Al-Daheri and Nakamura. This is going to be a really intense restart. The safety car makes its way back to the pits. It's all up to Renato Lee now, the Japanese driver who's been based in Great Britain for the last 3 years. Was a very strong competitor in karting. Made the switch to cars a couple of seasons ago now, and here he is in Formula Regional in the ART Grand Prix team. They rate him very highly indeed. But let's see if Renato Lee can go from strength to strength. He needs to time this restart well. Keeping a little bit of caution there for Taya Villeneuve, and he's bunching up the pack. This is a very tricky restart for Taya Villeneuve as he holds in behind Renato Lee, and they come off the turn, and it's green, 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 green. Now, will Taya Villeneuve get a run on Renato Lee? I tell you what, Brandon Badua's got a run on Yuka Chukwu. So Badua's going to get side by side with the American. They go through to the hairpin, he can't get through. But a very tricky start. We almost had the ultimate concertina effect, and somehow we avoid contact. But goodness me, how close did we come? Inches away from a big pile-up. As Renato Lee thwarts his opposition. Everybody trying to get through the W Hotel without incident. Going to try and attack their combatant. They've managed to do so. They've got through without incident. Giovanni Mascio has pitted. Giovanni Mascio came down pit lane. That is disastrous for Giovanni Mascio. He was up in the top half of the field. So very disappointing indeed. I wonder if he actually ended up with some contact and that's held him up as Evan Shieldshair appears to be going wheel to wheel. Oh no, sorry, that's Taito Kato going wheel to wheel with Reza Sawurthan. So Reza Sawurthan and Taito Kato dueling away. I thought for a moment that was Shieldshair and Slater. Easy to mistake because their teammates are going to battle. Sawurthan for Mumbai Falcons, Kato for ART Grand Prix. And they're a little further back in the pack. So Evan Shieldshair is still all over the back of Freddie Slater. He's not really rushing anything he doesn't need to at the moment. 8 minutes still to go. Kanato Lee seems to have done the job on the restart to keep Taefian Nal behind him. So let's see how it all rolls in down to the braking zone for the chicane. Kanato Lee still present and strong at the front end. Taefian Nal working hard. Good defensive tactics from Enzo Deligny, but he's lost a bit of ground on the exit. That could be enough for Yugen Chukwu to take him on. And as they go along the line, once again, that's 8 laps completed. Into lap 9 they go. Kanato Lee controlling the pace as much as possible. Yugen Chukwu very threatening here. On the tail of his teammate Deligny, they go side by side. Deligny holds the inside line. Yugen Chukwu not going to take too many silly risks here. Very mature and very calm driver at the moment. He had a lot of bad luck in F4, but going into Formula Regional at Macau, he absolutely dominated on the streets. Now he's coming into 2025 with a little bit less pressure on him, but certainly he's banking in a lot of points this season already. 4th position looking good for him, and of the main title contenders, it looks as though he's going to be the one that will reap the benefits most. So Yugen Chukwu going well. Just to reiterate for those who weren't watching yesterday, in the first race of the season, if the driver has a blue number on the graphic, it means they have experience in Formula Regional at some stage, and certainly enough experience to be classified as not a rookie. If they do have the yellow number beside them, that means they are a rookie. So down to the hairpin. Let's see if there's going to be a bold Verstappen style move. Nobody's close enough to make one. Having said that though, Rashid Al-Daheri had to think about it on the inside of Ernesto Rivera. Well, fascinating stuff. So the battle continues to rage down the back straight. Which of these drivers is going to emerge as the next Tukka Tarpanen, the Finnish driver for Race GP, who completely upset the balance of Mumbai Falcons in 2024. Managed to take the title 12 months ago. Kanato Lee doing a great job. Still leading the way. Yellow flag at turn 9. Now that is the first corner. So yellow flag at 9, that's the first corner. So it looks as though somebody may have gone off there. We'll double check and see. Safety car procedure is under investigation as well, I'm told. So I'm not entirely sure what that is and what that relates to. Track limits infringement for the number 10, that's Lorenzo Castillo. The drivers work their way through the chicane and the WO to shake off the attentions of the competitors around him. Very tough stuff. So there have been some really strong competitive drivers in the years gone by out here in the Middle East. Champions including Zhou Guanyu, Arthur Leclerc, of course, got his first FP1 experience in a Ferrari Formula 1 car at the end of the season on this very circuit with his brother Charles. 2023 champion, of course, was Andrea Kimi Antonelli. 2024 champion Tukka Tarpanen. Who's going to be next in 25? A lot of people already think it's going to be Freddie Slater. When I spoke to him about it after race 1 yesterday, he said it's not going to be as easy as just saying it. We've got a lot of work to do. And certainly with very nearly 13 races to go in the championship once this one is over, it's not done and dusted. And Kanato Lee is taking full advantage of this situation. Got a great restart, a very controversial one, but certainly managed to hold his position in front of Taefian Nal. Deligny is looking after tyres well here in front of Yugen Chukwu, and anybody who thought that Freddie Slater was going to charge his way through to the front have got to eat their words now. Brandon Badua still in front of him in P5. Crucially, Freddie Slater is looking very good indeed to get a second rookie victory in a row, as he is the leading rookie at the moment. Ernesto Rivera is in 8th place, Rashid Al-Daheri is in 9th, Lorenzo Castillo, the 4th highest rookie, is in 13th. Second warning for track limits already though for Rashid Al-Daheri as Yugen Chukwu puts Enzo Deligny under pressure going into the Slater and Gilter are still very close in behind. So let's see how it continues, but it's all going well for Kanato Lee. He's got a second still on Teofil Nahal. They are matching each other to the 10th of a second on lap times. Although in the first sector of this lap, Kanato Lee has found a little bit more pace. There's the train for third position. Deligny, Ugochukwu, Madua, Slater and Gilter. It's no major surprise after last year's title attack for Table that the drivers that have signed up with Race GP have opted to do so. We saw what happened with Table last year and they thought, I fancy a bit of that, thank you. That's why Enzo Deligny, Ugochukwu, Jin Nakamura and Akshay Bora are all there. Plain sailing as last year's championship attack would have made them believe. So Yuka Ugochukwu still trying to take on his teammate here. But Kanato Lee has got himself that little bit of a comfort zone that he needs to keep Teofil Nahal at bay. Deligny going well here in third position. It may not be an overtake every second, but this is all about looking after tyres. Rashid Al-Aheri trying to shake off Jin Nakamura. And he holds him, but on the exit, he's going to have to be brave. He needs to be absolutely bolted to the inside line because Nakamura is going to have to be sent to the far side. That's where Al-Aheri's going to place him. Want to shut down the Japanese driver. Nicely done for Al-Aheri. That was great work from the Emirati to hold on the Japanese driver's charge. That's how it should have been done when Nakamura was fumbling wheel to wheel with Kadashkado. Aaron Cameron now splits them, of course. Right, that's interesting. At the end of the safety car procedure, there was an incident between Giovanni Mascio and Jesse Kadashkado, and that is why Giovanni Mascio retired from the race. Can you believe it? That is a collision then, or we are guessing a collision, between teammates. So that's going to be a rather awkward conversation at the end of the race there between Jesse Kadashkado and Giovanni Mascio, and then they're going to have another awkward one explaining their actions in front of the stewards. Teofil Nahal's second position. He'll want to maximise his point score. As Shelfred Hearn points out, Teofil Nahal is not going to be here for the full campaign. He's only doing these 2 rounds. And then he will disappear back off to Europe to prepare for the FIA Formula 3 Championship, which of course kickstarts at the Australian Grand Prix weekend. There seems to be a bit of a trend now, of course, in the junior single-seater ladder. You've got 2 options in the off-season. Go and test the car, or test a similar car, for as many laps as humanly possible to try and get as much data. Most drivers now tend to fare racing rather than testing, because that gives them a better sharpening of the tools. It's a bit like when you get snooker and tennis players competing in many different tournaments away from the Grand Slams. Kanato Lee, Teofil Nahal and Enzo Deligny, top 3 as we go into the penultimate lap. There's only 9 seconds on the clock, so we're not going to get more than 2 laps left in this one, whatever happens. Third warning for track limits over Rashid Al-Aheri, so he's got to be careful. A penalty could be going his way. Kanato Lee going well. Teofil Nahal, second place. The gap has opened up to 1.1 seconds, but Kanato Lee cannot afford to let pressure get the better of him here. He's just got to keep his cool for a little while longer. Other than that restart, which was more aggressive than a mistake, he hasn't really put a wheel wrong. As into the pits, potentially to retire, comes Liu Hu-Che. So Liu Hu-Che of the Origin Motorsport team has made his way down pit lane, and I'm sorry to say that's going to be game over for him. Now Kanato Lee is still in front of Teofil Nahal by about a second, but he's got to be careful. He cannot afford a single mistake. Momentum is actually currently with Teofil Nahal. A little bit more experience in this car than Kanato Lee, not by much. It will be fascinating to see how it all goes. So Kanato Lee, Teofil Nahal, Enzo Deligny, Ugochukwu, 4th place from Brandon McDowell and Freddie Slater, and Evan Gilter, and Ernesto Rivera, Rashid Al-Aheri. Track limits for the 2nd time. A warning for Enzo Deligny in 3rd place. The time has got down to 0. When they cross the line this time by, it will be the beginning of the final lap. So it's now going to come down to, can Kanato Lee just hold it for that little while longer? Teofil Nahal still pushing him. Ugochukwu just can't seem to get behind Enzo Deligny close enough to go for the move. It is Dirty Air City here at Marina. And as they come through to cross the line, they go into the final lap. Renato Lee still holding station in front of Teofil Nall. Anto Deligny in front of Yugo Chipper and Brandon Badilla, Freddie Slater, Evan Schilte, Ernesto Nevada, Rashid Al-Daheri and Jin Nakamura. That's your point scorers at the moment. In 12th position, Taito Kato has made many places to try and gain the advantage after his difficult start. I don't think he's quite got enough time to get back into the points, but a good recovery nonetheless for Taito Kato, and that will please the Honda bosses no end. Kato Lee still absolutely ironclad at the front, not making any mistakes. Teofil Nall looking solid in second position for Santalok. Through they come again, down the Grand Prix straight. And it'll be a really sensational finish to this race for Renato Lee if he can just keep the car planted up the crest, through the left, swing the car out through the right. Teofil Nall is in his mirrors, but he's not close enough to really make a lunge, so it looks like it's going to be Renato Lee all the way, unless he makes a mistake coming into the hairpin. No problems at all for Renato Lee, he's got it nice and cool. He comes off the hairpin, stay off the curbs, excellent work, and he's got plenty of time. 1.2 seconds is more than enough to handle the situation. Deligny is going defensive, trying to keep Yugochukwu at bay. He doesn't need to. I don't think Yugochukwu is close enough unless Deligny forces the issue. But for Renato Lee, he is going to give the ART Grand Prix team their first victory in Formula Regional Middle East on their second ever race. Excellent run all the way through. Renato Lee takes the checkered flag. He gets the victory from pole position. He remains firm up front. Great work from Renato Lee. Excellent sensation as Renato Lee hangs on to it. His fans that are worldwide. He's got plenty of friends in Great Britain, plenty of friends in Japan. But Renato Lee, whose nickname in his British karting day was Bruce, rather originally. But fantastic work for Renato Lee. And a very impressive drive it was. Teofil Nall in second position, third place for Anto Deligny. So it'll be three completely different drivers on the podium. Time penalty at the end of the race for Lorenzo Castillo, and that drops him to 15th position, I do believe. So big problems there for Lorenzo Castillo at the end of the race. So 5 seconds penalty added on. He was just a whisker in front of Jesse Cadascado. He now drops to 15th behind Razor Sawerthan. But what a drive from the Japanese youngster Renato Lee. Bruce to his friends. Excellent work. And for those who are keeping an eye on Freddie Slater's progress, he was the leading rookie. 6th position, up 4 places from the start. So definitely a good night so far for Freddie Slater. Damage limitation, get those points in the bag. That's exactly how to get a championship won. Renato Lee takes the win then from Teofil Nall and Anto Deligny, with Yugo Chukwu in 4th position. Brandon Badilla, Freddie Slater, Evan Schilte and Ernesto Rivera from Rashid Al-Daheri and Jin Nakamura. Jesse Cadascado in 11th place. Taito Kato 12th position from Aaron Cameron and Razor Sawerthan. Lorenzo Castillo in front of Everett Stack. Then Jaden Pariat, Aditya Kulkarni, Kai Dadianani and Yaroslav Vezalaho, with Wong Shongwei in 21st position. Liu Ruchi was a retirement, as too sadly was Giovanni Mascio. And we also lost Finley Green, Jack Beaton and Akshay Bora from the running. So we've got was against him when it looked like he had all sorts of opposition to try and bring him down. He did not get flustered. He did not crack under the strain. And he does secure himself a very deserving victory under the lights. 3rd position for the Frenchman Anto Deligny. I'm sure he's himself a karting world champion twice over. But there is the man who's been triumphant tonight, Renato Lee. You never really see this guy show any emotion at all. He is absolutely cold as ice. But tonight, he's going to bubble over with jubilation. Renato Lee will get onto the top of his ART Grand Prix car, and he can finally let some joy out. Renato Lee, victorious. Isn't it amazing? We wait years for a star sensation from Japan to follow Takuma Sato into Formula One. We get one in Yuki Tsunoda, and all of a sudden, we've got a whole bunch of them ready to try and join him. Kanato Lee takes a shake of the hand there from Teofil, but Kanato Lee is definitely a real talent of the future. Victory tonight, very deserving indeed. Well, let's catch up with our drivers after a fantastic race from dusk to night time. Enzo Deligny, third position for Race GP. That looked like a very tough race out there, very frustrating. It looked like dirty air was everybody's enemy tonight.
Yeah, it was in the end a podium, so quite a good result. But on my side, I struggled a bit on the pace. I was, managed to keep Ugo behind. That was quite fast. But we tried something different on the setup compared to yesterday, where it was pretty good in the race, but it didn't quite work. I just lost a bit of grip under the safety car. And but overall it's still quite a good result and good points.
Good knowledge and data to take into the race later this evening?
Yeah, definitely. We can still adjust some things to for sure make the pace even better now.
Fantastic, Enzo. Good job today. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the man in second position, also for France, for the Saint-Alope Racing team. Teofil from the front row of the starting grid. It looked like you had a good couple of tries to get Kanato Lee early on, but tyre degradation's really been a killer tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, behind him, I destroyed a bit the tires, but I could have some opportunities at the beginning of the race, but then we had some safety cars, so it was tricky, but he did a good job, so congrats to him. Now we are focused on race 3 tonight.
We know you're only going to be here for 2 weekends before you disappear to concentrate on Formula 3, but it's quite clear that you still want to get as much silverware as you can.
Yeah, that's for sure. I try to do my best, and we are there with Saint-Alope, so we try to keep it.
Formidable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the latest winner in Formula Regional Middle East from Japan. Brucey, as he's known to his friends, Kanato Lee. I've been watching you for a long time. That was probably your most chilled out race, but it didn't look particularly easy at times.
Yeah, it was a good race. Obviously, 2 safety car, which was unexpected, but I had to keep calm and then just do my best, and then it all worked fine. So yeah, I'm really happy.
How big a difference has being part of this ART Grand Prix outfit coming into this year been for your confidence?
I think really big confidence. They're a really great team, and I have a lot of support from them. So being able to win today's race, I'm really happy.
Great stuff. We were very impressed, Kanato. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the rookie Victor, just as he did yesterday by winning overall, but a 6th place finish today, keeping him in good check. Freddie Slater, 2 wins out of 2 in rookie, but moreover, consistent points that keep you in the fight.
Yeah, definitely. I think we just got the job done at the start, got into, I think it was 6th, so that I finished in the end. So to follow in these cars is very difficult, and to obviously make a jump, and I think with the cars in front on all new tyres was super difficult as well. So honestly a good race, but yeah, a lot to look into before the last race.
Was there more left in the car or the tyres, or was that basically damage limitation from your side?
It's hard to say, really. I think obviously the front guys are always going to be very, very close with the speed, so it's hard to make mistakes. But when you're all in a tow like that, you're all doing the same time, so it's impossible to try and be faster than that. So yeah, it's just tough.
We look forward to seeing you in race 3, where you start from pole. Good luck.
Yeah, it should be good fun, and try and make it like yesterday.
Good job.
Thank you.
Time to welcome the drivers then to the rostrum here at Marina. After an absolutely fantastic race battle, the reverse grid race providing 3 different drivers on the top of the podium, but a rookie winner that hasn't changed. In 3rd position for France, Enzo Deligny. A great start for the race GP competitor. Excellent to see him on the rostrum. In 2nd place, also for France, Théophile Noël. The Santaloc ace getting himself on the podium for the first time. There could be a few more before he departs for Europe. But your race winner for Japan, Kanato Lee. A magnificent race from ART Grand Prix's Japanese star, and a 2nd rookie victory in a row for Great Britain, Freddie Slater. More points in the bag and 2 rookie wins in a row for the Englishman. Now it's my honour to invite Davide De Gobbi, the General Manager of Top Speed Limited, to present the trophies to our competitors. Firstly, for the man in 3rd position, for France and Race GP, Enzo Deligny. In 2nd position, for France and Santaloc Racing, Théophile Noël. And your race winner for Japan and ART Grand Prix, Kanato Lee. And last but by no means least, the Rookie Cup winner for Great Britain and Mumbai Falcons, Freddie Slater. A very solid and smooth race up at the front end of the field. I have a feeling they'll be going for broke big time in race number 3, which will be taking place in a couple of hours' time. For now, though, the drivers get to celebrate in style on the podium here at the meeting place of champions. It's time for our Formula Regional drivers to get busy with a fizzy. Théophile and Freddie have no intention of getting wet just yet. But certainly for Kanato Lee and for Enzo Deligny, they fancy a party. Great job, boys. Hopefully there's more to come from all of them in race number 3. Next up tonight here at Marina, we'll have some great action from the F4 Middle East Championship, and then the conclusion of Formula Regional shortly after that. Don't go too far away. More great racing on the march.